Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and X-Men Red, issue number 11. Yeah, I've got some things to say about this comic book. A lot of good, but I think more bad. We'll see though. So this is the Hate Machine part 11. I love that this is this is the final issue, and it's part 11. So an 11-part arc. No complaints here, man. None. So Tom Taylor is the writer. I'm gonna butcher this name. Sorry. Roge Antonio is on art. Rain Barretto, color artist. VC's Corey Petit on letters. Jenny Frison is the main cover artist, but there is no secondary cover artist, so I don't know why it says main cover artist. Jay Bowen, Anthony Gambino, and Carlos Lau on graphic design. And the original X-Men created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Alright, so we finally see all the members of the X-Men Red team in here. That was nice. They're running together. I like that they're all running towards Cassandra Nova, and their main weapons are the backup helmets, so that they could put the helmets on other soldiers. That's really cool. I don't know. It's weird. Cassandra Nova goes up and she's gonna blow up or cause a reactor to rupture on a helicarrier. So we're about to have a, what did they say, a 6 gigaton explosion. It's going to be huge, huge. What do you call it? I think megaton. Gigaton would be, that would be freaking absurd. Oh my God, just thought about that. Anyhow, Jean Grey goes up to intercept. Now, Cassandra Nova uses her telekinesis to pull off the helmet, so they're both on equal terms. I wonder why Cassandra Nova didn't do that for everybody, because she could have. She does have the ability to pull all those helmets off, so I don't know why she didn't. That was just kind of weird to me. Anyway, there are a few things that are weird to me, and when you really look into the story a lot, the story just doesn't work. And I'm going to say a lot of good about the writing also, so don't get me wrong, but first, let's just get this out of the way. The story as a whole simply does not work. Any individual part in here, the only parts I found that actually worked were involving Thor. All right? Whenever Thor showed up, it was actually a part that worked really well, and I loved it. Thor talking to Gentle, even though it was only like a panel or two, was amazing. It was amazing, and it was like heartrending almost. This is the greatest warrior ever complimenting a new guy, basically. And for all intents and purposes, Gentle is extremely new. So that was, wow. That was really good. All of this was really good. At the same time, got to kind of complain about some things. I mean, just the art in here. This felt like an issue where everybody knew it was the final issue. And yeah, I'll throw something together really quick. As opposed to deliver good art for people who are buying this comic book. I want you to really think about that one. Was this comic book made to... I don't know how else to look at this. Was this comic book designed from beginning to end as though it was a first issue, as though this was the first issue and you need to sell this because we need people to buy it? Or was this sold as a final issue where it's like, well, the comic book is being canceled, or whatever happened to the comic book? Maybe the story was over and Tom Taylor didn't want to write. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to get into, aspects of the comic book that I don't know anything about. But was this art presented as something where we need to sell this because we got more to sell? Or, you know what, let's just throw something together really quick because we got to put out that final one and some people will buy it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, put it out there. I'm surprised they didn't just go black and white at this point. What? This was just not... And I'm not sitting here trying to insult the art. The artist is good. The problem is, in my opinion, just my opinion, my observation, is the motivation in the art. This did not seem like art that somebody put into it saying, I'm going to kick some butt in this. This is like, here's a football player going to go out there and, I'm going to play like crap all the time. No, more specifically, I'm going to play good because I want the recruiters to come to my school and take a look at me. Okay, here they are. They're looking at me. I'm going to play better than I've ever played before. Okay, you got one more game. You've already been recruited. We don't know what your pick is going to be. We don't know what your draft is going to be. But hey, man, you know, you are going to be on the draft. You're going to be considered. So I got one more game to play. I'm going to just go out there and go through the motions because, you know, I don't want to get myself hurt before I go into college. You know, saying I don't want to, you know, exert myself. What's the point? I've already gotten in. I've already made it. I'm just going to, you know, I'm really just fulfilling an obligation for the sake of conversation. Like at this, I mean, that's the way I look at this. That's the way I view the art in this comic book. But to be fair, I view a lot of the writing like that also. There were a couple of really good written, well-written parts in here, but I'm literally saying a couple. That means two. All right? The ending of this, however, was a beautiful message. Like, it's very hard to get by that. I'm just going to show you the last page because they didn't put the effort that I imagined they should have put into this. Whatever, man. To me, the best part was Jean Grey talking, addressing this assemblage, and has everybody there, which is gorgeous. And, like, you look at this, man, and it's like, I'm sorry, Scott's there. Scott's dead. Young Scott is dead. All right? And over here, where is it? Where is she? She-Hulk. She-Hulk is in here someplace. Damn it. Oh, she's over here in the corner. But you can see her in other parts of the comic book, too, where that's not Hulk She-Hulk. That's She-Hulk from, like, years ago. Like, that's like 2 years ago what She-Hulk used to look like. So, what the frick? Carol's hair is long. You know, so, like, we could just go on. We can go on and start talking about all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Old Man Logan is there. What the, like, so, okay, so this is an Elseworlds. I get it now. This is an Elseworlds because we're not looking at continuity in any way, shape, or form. We just said, yeah, just throw some people in there. Who the frick cares, right? Like, that's what I'm looking at here. Tell me I'm wrong. There was not a whole lot of effort put into this comic book. But that being said, this final scene, like, here's the last page image. This was beautiful. This was a really beautiful message. I like that. And while it could be looked at as, oh, she's giving, you know, she's entering people's minds, you know, things like that. Look, reading people's minds, my opinion, ethically, when you take ethics classes and philosophy, you can apply your ethics to anything. You know what I'm saying? Or question your ethics to anything. You know, well, the ethics of an alien invasion, if they're actually saving us, you know, if their perception is that they're saving us, you know what I'm saying, then do they have an obligation to save us? You know, if saving us is in fact their intention, even if it's actually hurting us, you know, it's a weird thing. But my observation of this is, if she's injecting a thought, not a suggestion, just a thought, her vision, if she's injecting an idea, okay, the basis of a noun, and not reading minds, and not implanting suggestions or nudging, just an idea, because she can convey it better. I mean, all it is communication. Let's be realistic. Suggesting that someone can't put an idea into your head psychically, would that be any different than talking to someone? You have the right to just walk away. You know what I'm saying? You have the right to close your eyes. You have the right to cover your ears. You have the right to resist an idea or to ignore an idea. But if you're walking down the street and you see a billboard, do you get to complain? Oh, I saw this billboard, and you know, it's not one of those psychopaths from the freaking far right who are showing pictures of aborted fetuses and things like that to try and get you to, you know, to sway your opinion on something. It's like, dude, a little bit of, you know, the graphics, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. But like when you're talking about extremists, man, that's one thing. But if it's just a billboard of, you know, buy my, you know, famous diamond studded watch, it's corporate advertisement. It is what it is. But do you have the right to be offended by something like that? Is your opinion valid at that point? You know? Do you have the right to sue because I didn't want to see an advertisement of a watch? So all this is, you know, it's an opinion, it's an idea. And if it can be conveyed visually or through a speech, this person chooses visually because, oh, I'm really good at graphic design, I got a great team behind me. Or this one, oh, somebody wrote a really good speech for me, or I wrote it, and I can put, a lot of emphasis into it, and so on and so forth. We have the right to express ourselves, to communicate in the ways that we're best at doing so, as long as it's not involving torture, right? So that's the way that I look at this. It's simply conveying an idea in your head, projected. She has the ability to do that. Should she be handcuffed? Should she be, bound because she has that ability? I don't think so. So it's funny, like the best part of this comic book for me was the philosophical diatribe that I can engage in after having read it. The comic book itself, there was not a whole lot of effort put into this. And if there was, then it failed at that aspect. And I hate saying things like that. Dude, Tom Taylor, man, he wrote some really good stuff. So could we talk about Batman Annual #3? You know what I'm saying? We'll get there. Really good stuff. But in this particular case, yeah, no. Yeah, no. There was a great idea. It's like having a great plot, but horribly executing it. And that's kind of where I'm coming from on here. This genuinely felt like the best way that I can convey my message on my opinion on this is, as I'd already said, this is the final issue. Hey, if you bought the first 10, you're going to buy the 11th one. That's exactly what it was with me. Bought the first 11, why wouldn't I? Or the first 10, why wouldn't I? No, the first 11, because the annual also. Bought the first 11, why wouldn't I buy the 12th one? So you got me. Congratulations. You got me. And now I feel like a sucker. That's kind of messed up, don't you think? It's going to make me question purchasing stuff from you in the future. I don't feel like the full effort was put into this as though they were trying to sell something new. This genuinely felt like it's the last one. We got an obligation. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You got an obligation to put out your best work. And I don't feel like this was. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But this is just my observation. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.